Hey guys, this is Neil. Welcome back to my channel. Today I actually want to do a little storytime video. As you can tell from the title, I'm going to talk about a stressful situation that I unfortunately experienced with PayPal that led me to think that I had to stop doing Skillshare. Luckily, this problem was resolved and I'm so thankful for that and for the customer support that helped me with it. I know that these types of videos are quite serious, and I might even get viewers who aren't subscribed to me, who might be going through the same thing I went through, and it would be preferable to have me talking in front of the camera, but I'm still very uncomfortable with it. So I was just thinking what painting would suit this, so I decided to just do a speed paint of these toast with blackberry jam, because in my mind I thought I was seriously toast. Yeah, and you can cringe all you want, but that was the best thing I could come up with. So, getting back to the story, this ordeal started in mid-December, but back then I was really busy with cake orders, and I was also getting ready for Christmas, and I had lots of things to do for church. My schedule was fully packed that I didn't actually realize that I got an email from PayPal. So I thought all through the end of December that everything was still normal and there was nothing out of the ordinary. When I had spare time nearing New Year's, I tried to check my PayPal balance, and I got this notification saying I needed to update some information. Now, I verified my account ages ago because I've been using PayPal since I started Skillshare, which is maybe mid last year, and everything was up to date. But I was still very new to the system. I barely had any experience with PayPal, considering I don't really receive payments from several places. I only use it to receive payments from Skillshare, and I also linked my PayPal account to my Society 6 and Redbubble account that I also had to close down because of this, but I'll get back to that point later. So basically, I didn't need to send invoices or anything like that. I just used it to receive payments. At this point, this notification didn't even startle me though. I just opened it, and lo and behold, it went to a page that said I can no longer use PayPal, and that if I have any balance left in my account, which I did quite a bit actually, that I will be able to withdraw it after 180 days, which is basically half a year. So I was confused that happened. This never happened to me before, and I just thought to myself, it's probably a misunderstanding that it'll get sorted out soon since I had no problems with emailing the customer service before. At this point, I did not realize how serious this was. I also tried to look at the resolution center, and it basically just says that the feature is not available for me because my account is permanently limited. Then I decided to check my email to see if I've missed anything, and it turns out that I got this email from the 13th of December, and it says you can no longer do business with PayPal in bold, and below it said, after a review, we decided to permanently limit your account as we found potential risks associated with it. You'll not be able to conduct any further business using PayPal, and this means forever that I can't make a new account. They just don't want to do anything with you anymore. Then it continues to the if you have any balance left, we'll hold it for up to 180 days, blah blah blah. Okay, so this looks much more serious, but even then, I trusted the customer service, so I just decided to email them. But I noticed that whenever I emailed them through the website, I did not get any replies from even the bots, so none of those automated replies. And I thought that was a bit weird because the few times that I've contacted them before over email, I've always gotten a reply from a bot, followed up by a reply from the customer service. So I decided to wait until the next day to email them again. And while this is happening, I've also been researching about this and watching videos about people going through the same thing, and realized that this thing happened a lot and that PayPal is able to limit your account without any notice and without any reasoning. Then I started getting nervous. I kept emailing them and still nothing went through. I think the email just disappeared. I also watched a video from Mini Small, who's a YouTuber and a really great illustrator. She too had similar experience. She had a product launch which caused a boost in her sales, and it triggered PayPal to limit her account and freeze the balance in her account. I've actually watched this before, even before I used PayPal, but I never knew it would happen to me until it did. I've also watched a bunch of people explaining their experience, and it turns out that certain things that you do triggers the account to get limited, and that this is automated, even though when I ask the customer service, they always deny it and always say that they have a team that thoroughly reviews it, but I don't buy that at all. So certain things that may trigger this is if you have a sudden burst of income, maybe a sale that may trigger the account to be limited. So basically anything out of the norm that may trigger the limitation. Another thing is withdrawing money too fast after receiving a payment. It's better to wait a couple of days before withdrawing it, and it's better to withdraw in small amounts. I'm not sure how to gauge on what small amount and what isn't though, so you might just have to do a bit of research on that. And last but not least, this is something that doesn't come up a lot, but I've come across a thread saying that it's better to have one PayPal account for one specific business. Then I realized that I recently made a Redbubble sale on a couple of stickers. This is the first time I've ever gotten a sale from Redbubble because not many people even know about my Redbubble store either. So yeah, I sold a couple of stickers for like 30 cents each, and basically that was the last transaction that I have in my account before my PayPal account got suspended. So that might have been the trigger, but I was still very unsure because, as I said before, on my PayPal account it said that I have some information that I needed to update, and that might have been the trigger. But on the other hand, my email said that they basically think they found potential risks associated with my account, which means that I'm probably doing some shady business. I mean, no person in their right mind would think that teaching how to paint watercolors and selling a couple of stickers from Redbubble is risky business. At this point, I was kind of freaking out that none of my emails went through, so I tried contacting them through Facebook, which was a huge mistake. The replies that I got did not help at all, and they basically said they can't do anything about it and that I can never use PayPal again. I think with all of the customer service that I've experienced, the one from Facebook really left me hopeless and stressed and very annoyed that they didn't even care to help at all. After that, I basically lost sleep. My eczema was breaking out, and I just felt sick because Skillshare was my main source of income, even though I'm also doing freelancing, private drawing classes, and baking along the side. Skillshare was the most steady income stream, and I really depended on it. Plus, I still had that balance that I kept in my PayPal account. From a lot of threads that I've read, especially ones from Indonesia, a few of them said that they weren't even able to withdraw their money after the 180 days. The 180 days period is in case you have some disputes from customers and things like that, that they would take any chargebacks from your account. But I didn't even have clients. I'm basically working under Skillshare, Society 6, and Redbubble, so they were the ones who were in charge of everything. I just basically upload videos or artworks and receive payments. So the worst case scenario that was going on in my head, I just thought, well, basically I could lose all of the money that I have stored in my account and my main source of income because Skillshare only transfer payments through PayPal at this point, just in a short period of time. I just felt the heaviest burden, and all I could do was pray. I mean, what else can you do when you're at the mercy of a system? So my final hope was just to call up the customer service. Since they don't have an Indonesian office, I called up the PayPal office in Singapore. So, for all the PayPal users in Indonesia, a cheap way to contact them is through Skype. I bought a minimal credit for Skype, which is $5. And after calling the customer service a couple of times, I haven't even used up $1 of that credit. So, if any of you from Indonesia ever have this problem, firstly, I would just say to not email them, don't contact them through Facebook, just call them straight away. Everyone were actually surprisingly genuine and nice, nothing like the Facebook replies that I got. So when I rang, the first thing that you choose is the language of the customer service, and after that, you choose which department you would like to talk to. And they do have a limitation department. If I'm not wrong, it was the fourth one. So after the customer service picked up, I told them my situation, that I don't know what happened and what triggered the account to be limited, if it was really something that I needed to update, or if it's because of risky business, which I then said I basically only use my account for Skillshare. And another thing is, I've sold a couple of stickers of leaves, and that's it. So his response was the sorry that you have to go through this, and that maybe it's because of Skillshare. This triggered me quite a bit because Skillshare only send payments through PayPal and nothing else. So how can Skillshare be risky business? And I basically asked him that if this was due to their algorithm and that something must have triggered it to happen. But like the Facebook customer service, they denied it and said no. They have a team who looks thoroughly and review your account before limiting them, in which I just had to have a go at the customer service because I just needed to get my point across. And I told him that I teach how to paint with watercolors and the basics of watercolors, and I do food illustrations and sold stickers. If any person reviews that, how can they think that it's shady business? And I told him the things that I paint isn't even X-rated stuff or any adult themes. I paint food. Throughout this whole ordeal, even after I said those things, the customer service I had was really nice, and he was actually just really trying to get to the bottom of this. He wasn't just repeating sentences from something that he memorized, just because, sometimes calling the customer service is just like talking to a bot that basically says the same thing over and over again and not really listening to your exact problems. But luckily, my experience have been great. He basically asked me if I would like to make an appeal. And this guy seems really genuine. All the time, he was really trying to help, and he assured me that he's going to do his best, which was a really nice turn of event. I felt like there's hope once again, so he told me he'll file the appeal and that I should check my email within a week, and if nothing goes through, I should call back again and ask for the status of the appeal. I get that PayPal is doing these kind of things because of security reasons, but what if something like this were to happen and the only customer service that I got was the ones from Facebook, which just said that there's no way of resolving this problem and that the decision is final? How many people are losing businesses and their livelihood because of this? So, anyway, after a week, I did not get an email. I called them back and told them the situation again and asked for the status of the appeal, and the customer service said that he's going to send a notification for my appeal to be looked at again, and that I should wait maximum of 3 days to get an email or a phone call. And then within 2 days, I luckily got an email saying that my account has been restored, and it was such a huge relief. Everything is back to normal, and I can continue to do Skillshare. But in this process, I had to close down my Society 6 and my Redbubble store because, one, it wasn't really generating any sales anyway, and that one off was probably the trigger of my PayPal invitation. So just to be on the safe side, I decided to delete all my artworks on Society 6 and Redbubble and close down my store. If I ever get requests for art prints and things, and if I were to open the stores again, I think I would just open another PayPal account to be on the safe side. So some points to consider. My main one would be it's best to always withdraw your money instead of keeping it in your account, but leave a few bucks in there just to be on the safe side. I know that this may seem so obvious to some people, but I was fairly new to all these online transactions and I didn't know the precautions beforehand, but I learned the hard way. Don't withdraw too often and too much, especially if you have a new account. In terms of how often and how much, I'm not too sure. I think it also depends on the status of your account. It's better to do a little bit of research to avoid limitations. If you want any limitation lifted, it's best to go straight to the customer service and call them up. In my case, it really helped me, and I told them exactly what was going down to the very detail of the subject that I paint. And that if you receive payments online, it's better if you have a few sources of income so that if anything like this were to happen to you, you would have backup. So to those of you who are going through account limitations, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope that this video somewhat helped. And for those of you who are here just to listen to my story and watch me paint, thank you for sticking till the end. And that's it. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye!